countries. After Ukraine war started, it has become easier actually with the forged documents. Earlier, Russia was very strict on them. They were checking on it. Now they are relaxed.
It's interesting because everyone else thinks that because of the war, it's impossible to get into Europe from Russia. But you're saying it's actually become easier for illegal migrants. Is that right?
Yeah, in fact, now the Belarus and Russia is lenient on the illegal immigrants, unlike earlier. They seem to like that people are going towards Europe.
If he makes taking this route sound simple, well, it is anything but, particularly during the freezing winter months. Migrant charities say hundreds are dying on these routes. It's been hard to find people who will admit to setting out on journeys like this, but we have found one. This woman is in her 20s. She's from the Central Highlands of Sri Lanka. She has a family, a small child, and until a few weeks ago, she had a husband too. We're calling her Sriyani. She spoke to us via a digital connection on condition of anonymity.
My husband left for Russia 2 months ago. His idea was that he would get work in England.
And why did he leave Sri Lanka? What drove him to do this?
We were doing okay. My husband had a business trading goods. Then the pandemic struck and it all came crashing down. We had to borrow because we didn't have money coming in. We fell into debt. In the end, we decided that he would try his luck abroad to put food on the table.
So what gave you both the idea to travel to England?
We were told by a relative. He convinced us both that there was a huge opportunity there. He said he would be doing the same journey soon. If we did this, we'd be able to pay off all our debts. The whole trip cost around $10,000 and had to be paid up front. To do this, we had to mortgage our home and also our last main source of income, our coconut grove in our garden. Even then, we still fell short. So we had to borrow about $1,500 from a moneylender in the village. We wondered if we would ever be able to pay it back, but they told us once you get to England, you can earn that money in just a couple of months. Easy, they said. All your troubles will be over. He went to Russia and just took what he wore and a small backpack. They promised him he'd get better clothes when he got there. The idea was to head straight to Poland. On March 10th, he called to say they had reached Belarus. He was hungry, he hadn't eaten anything in days, and was cold, he said. There were hundreds of them gathered there. He showed me pictures of lots of migrants in a forest.
This interview took place at the end of March. Sriyani was clearly scared for her husband and also for herself. She told me of their last conversation, after which she said he'd stopped answering her calls.
It was on the 12th of March. He said, "My precious, I'm crossing to Poland." He looked so weak. He hadn't eaten in days. He seemed really exhausted, like he had lost all hope.
So do you have any idea where he is, where he could have got to?
The relative who persuaded us to go said he's either in Belarus or he must be on his way to England. But I don't believe it. He always calls me. He wouldn't not call me. I regret ever letting him go, but I don't know what to do. Please, sir, I beg you, don't give me away to anyone. There are people in the village who know this story. They know who I am. Our house is mortgaged and we have nowhere else to go. They mustn't find out. Please don't give me away. We can't fight these people.
It's that fear. We've heard it again and again on this trip. The fear to speak out, fear to even admit the dangers, fear of reprisal. And the humiliation, too, that comes with financial failure. Journalist Lahiru Dolaswala again.
I know a friend who went to Australia. He was kicked out of Australia. I think he was deported because he didn't have enough points for permanent residency. And he hid inside his house for over 1.5 years. And we didn't know because of the shame of returning back to Sri Lanka. And that's the culture, that's how Sri Lankan society operates. And that's why a lot of people suicide, take their own lives, because they can't face their relatives, their neighbors, returning back. And that's one of the most concerning issues we have in Sri Lanka.
It's such shame, isn't there? There's shame, even when you're the victim of a scam, shame to acknowledge it and come home empty-handed.
The issue is that they are not being educated about how to properly apply for a job, how a job offer letter is received, how an employer must bear the cost of all these stuff. And officials look away.
Right, well, I'm now looking at the government's own website, and it's called the Bureau of Foreign Employment. And there are jobs listed here. They're in banking, care work, and so on, mostly in Japan, South Korea, some in the Gulf. What I'm not seeing, though, is anything warning people about the risks of these fake job schemes, of the dozens of recruitment sites that Lahiru was just telling us about. Taking money up front for jobs which don't exist.
It's quite organized. There's a lot of organized crime people involved. Victims have been threatened. When I spoke to the activist who's campaigning against these job scams, he's having death threats after he exposed one of the largest sex trafficking rings operated from Sri Lanka to the Middle East.
So what's extraordinary here is not only can we not reach the victims themselves, we can't even reach the guy who's publicizing the plight of the victims. Everybody is scared.
That's true. Everybody's scared because they are not getting the support that they need from the government to face such threats and issues, and that's why they're not coming forward.
How big a story is this for Sri Lanka right now?
I believe this is the largest story that Sri Lankans should be aware of, because this is over tens of thousands of people, even hundreds of thousands of people mortgaging their houses, their belongings, their jewelry. They get robbed out of their entire future, promising a good life in the West, and people are not coming out speaking about it. And the more people hide inside their houses and keep silent, the more Sri Lankans get exploited and scammed.
Fear and shame. I've been trying for many weeks to get an interview with the government over the questions raised by this program. Do they even care about the scams? Many of my calls went unanswered. Some interviews were seemingly scheduled, then suddenly cancelled. No explanation. What's clear from social media posts is that the relevant ministers are happy that record numbers are leaving right now, boasting that the money that these workers are sending home has jumped by some 80%. Then last week, this appeared on a government website. It's a new TV ad highlighting the scams. No supporting literature though, and no wider promotion either. We must be wary of scammers and traffickers who prey on the vulnerable, the narrator warns, over pictures of a family trying to connect with an absent dad. So there is now at least some warning out there for citizens. And just a few days ago, I received recorded statements in answer to some of my written questions as well. They come from Madura Vitanage. He's a senior government MP overseeing the Bureau of Foreign Employment.
I believe Sri Lankans working abroad are looking positively at the policy decisions of the government, and foreign remittances are an important lifeline to many households that depend on the income of family members working abroad.
And as for the question of the scams targeting poor Sri Lankans, he said,
The Sri Lankan government is taking measures to address the issue of wholesale frauds that is occurring among poor Sri Lankans. They are actively cautioning the public to exercise extra care, adhere to strict guidelines. And I was able to save a group of young people who were stuck in job traps in Laos and Myanmar. Further actions are being planned to tackle this issue, punishing those responsible for fraudulent activities.
But when I asked precisely how many fraudsters had actually been punished since the crisis began, Mr. Vitanagi could only identify 3 people facing criminal charges, and none of them had yet been convicted. In the airport departure lounge, a line of women queue for a plane to the Gulf. They're going to work as Saudi housemaids, they tell me. Some look tearful. They've heard rumours that maids often get mistreated. Of course, for the hundreds of thousands leaving, like these women, millions are also left behind. Rasika Saharanga, the former migrant, says he has no plans to go anywhere himself right now. He's written a book, and he posts online encouraging Sri Lankans to think twice before they risk an uncertain future overseas.
Sri Lanka is normally everyone, if you ask 10 people, 9 people ready to travel out of country. But my expectation is to let them know what is really happening outside. If they know what's happening outside, then they can prepare.
What's the solution?
That's a question. Solution is if you have economic freedom in your country, if you have good life in your country, you don't want to go other country, work and do slavery things. People need to develop the country itself.
Fix Sri Lanka.
Fix Sri Lanka. I don't know when will it happen, but that's the solution.
And still, it rains. It's been a month now since I first spoke to Sriani, the woman from the Central Highlands, whose husband was trying to walk from Russia to Poland. I wanted news. Had she heard from him? Was he safe? Eventually, we did get an update. As of last week, he still hadn't rung, she said. And no one else had heard from him either. Sriani sounded desperate.
I am finding it very difficult to get through each day at the moment. My husband is not with me, and I just cannot bear to see my child go hungry. I've been sewing, trying to earn some money, but it's just not enough. My relative told me that my husband never made it to Poland. He thinks he's still in Russia. My husband loves our child very much, but they say he's left us. I've been waiting for his call. I'm keeping my phone switched on at all times, just hoping that he'd call. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm sharing this with you.
You've been listening to the documentary from the BBC World Service. It was written and presented by me, Ed Butler. Studio production was by Rod Farker. The editor was Penny Murphy.
This is the BBC World Service, and in the next forum,
we'll be exploring the impact the mobile phone is having on our lives.
There is a psychological attachment of people to their phones, which really makes them move beyond being a tool.
How did we get to the point where we're almost totally dependent on them?
The forum, how the mobile phone changed everything. Saturday at 11 GMT, or listen now wherever you get your podcasts. At bbcworldservice.com, it's Tech Life with Zoe Kleinman.
If even the boss of Google doesn't fully understand the latest developments in AI, what chance do the rest of us have? The legal battle in Kenya over Facebook moderators, and how the quest for a healthier life has gone high-tech.
This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
Hawaii, the birthplace of surfing. Believe me, being a woman surfer in the 70s was no easy ride.
The most famous pro surfer of 1975 was the woman who took her clothes off for Playboy.
We clashed endlessly with leftover attitudes from the 1960s that women were sex objects. In our case, beach bunnies.
The bikini contests at the surf contests were the best attended thing because you're selling sex.
We needed a revolution, and we had a fight on our hands. Join me, Patty Panicha, to find out how the face of women's surfing changed forever.
The life of a surfer on the road is the greatest job in the world.
Stephanie Gilmore, who just won her 8th world title. That's Women's Pro Surfers, Battling the Waves, on the BBC World Service after the news.
Hello, I'm Moira Alderson with the BBC News. A Tunisian judge has ordered the imprisonment of Rachid Ghannouchi, the leader of the main opposition party, Ennahda. The US said the latest actions by the authorities against free speech represented a troubling escalation. David Bamford has more details.
Rachid Ghannouchi, a prominent critic of President Kais Saied, was arrested on Monday and accused of plotting against state security. Now a judge has ordered he be imprisoned. An Interior Ministry spokesman said the Islamist leader had made inciting statements. Mr. Ghannouchi was the Speaker of the Tunisian Parliament until it was abolished by President Saied in 2021. This week, the Tunisian authorities banned Ennahda from holding meetings and closed the headquarters of the Salvation Front, the main opposition coalition.
The United Nations Children's Agency says up to 67 million children have missed some or all of their routine vaccinations due to COVID lockdowns and disruption caused by the pandemic. UNICEF warned that in some countries, misinformation has contributed to vaccine hesitancy. In others, immunisations have fallen because health systems were overstretched. Dr. Eduardo Salathas Blanco works for UNICEF in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, vaccine hesitance is not the main issue, but the main issue is the lack of access. The parents, the children, they cannot access to a health system that delivers the services that they need. So what we're trying to do is a catch-up and recovery. And for that one, we are aiming to, in the next 700 days, to try to reach almost 1 million children with the vaccines that they missed over the last 3 years.
About 80 people are said to have been killed in the Yemeni capital Sana'a during the distribution of charity money ahead of the Muslim holiday of Eid al-Fitr. Reports say guards from the Houthi rebels that control the city fired shots, causing people to panic and rush for the exit. Intense fighting between rival military factions is continuing for a 6th day in the Sudanese capital, Khartoum. Prolonged gunfire and explosions were heard throughout the night, marking the failure of the second ceasefire attempt in as many days. Clashes have also been reported elsewhere in Sudan. A court in Western India has rejected an appeal by a senior Indian opposition leader, Rahul Gandhi, to suspend a criminal defamation conviction against him. Mr. Gandhi from the Congress Party was convicted last month. Archana Shukla reports from Delhi.
Rahul Gandhi was sentenced to prison for 2 years for a 2019 speech in which he linked the Prime Minister Narendra Modi with 2 fugitive businessmen who are also called Modi. He was granted bail but lost his parliamentary seat because of the conviction. The court ruling means Rahul Gandhi cannot be reinstated as an MP and also fuels uncertainty on whether he will be able to contest the general elections next year. Officials of the Congress Party have said they will challenge the order in the High Court.
BBC News. Pakistan's Supreme Court has summoned the country's main political parties to decide when elections should be held in the province of Punjab. Judges want assurances from the government that talks between the parties will be held on the issue. Punjab's Provincial Assembly was dissolved in January as part of an attempt by the former Prime Minister Imran Khan to force early general elections. A health official in Thailand says almost 2.5 million people have sought medical help this year because of smog that's affected the country for a number of weeks. Rain over the next few days is expected to clear some of the pollution. Michael Bristow reports.
People have received treatment for respiratory problems, eye inflammation and sore throats. There's been nearly 200,000 hospital visits in the last week alone, 2.4 million this year. The authorities in Thailand have blamed the smog on fires started by farmers clearing land in the neighbouring countries of Laos and Myanmar. But Thai farmers have also been burning stubble. Northern Thailand has been particularly polluted, damaging tourism in a country looking to attract millions of extra visitors following pandemic lockdowns.
An assessment of satellite data on the Earth's ice sheets has concluded that ice loss from Antarctica and Greenland is set to become the main factor driving the rise of sea levels. Researchers examined all available satellite data since the early 1990s. Since then, these ice sheets have lost the equivalent of an ice block 20 kilometres high and wide, raising sea levels by just over 2 centimetres. Thousands of people have flocked to a remote town in Western Australia to see a total solar eclipse. The town of Exmouth was deemed one of the best vantage points on Earth to watch the phenomenon, part of a rare hybrid eclipse. Partial eclipses were also visible across parts of Southeast Asia. That's the latest BBC News.
Surfing connects you with the ocean in the most powerful way I know.
I'm Dr.
Just
Donald
you
Palmer,
and your surfboard,
and I'm an immunologist.
harnessing the immense
COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 1119.
Today, Dr. Joe Wende is here to discuss why we need to embrace NHS screening for a longer, happier and healthier life.
Hi, my name is Joe Wende. I'm a doctor by background, a consultant in public health, and I am the cancer screening public health lead at NHS England in London.
How many NHS screening programs are there?
So we have about 10 NHS screening programs, which are actually offered from pregnancy all the way to our later years. So pregnant women are offered various screening tests for things like infectious diseases and to detect genetic abnormalities in the baby. And then we have a variety of screening tests that we offer newborns, including things like testing their hearing, checking if their hips are okay, and checking for other genetic disorders. And then in later life, we start offering people with diabetes an annual eye screening test every year from the age of 12, and we offer then a screening test called an abdominal aortic aneurysm screening test in the year that they turn 65, and all adults are offered cancer screening as well. So we offer the cervical screening program to women between 25 and 64. We offer bowel cancer screening to men and women aged between 56 and 74, and we offer breast screening to women from the age of 50 up to the time they turn 71.
How can we prevent cervical cancer?
So cervical cancer is one of the cancers that we can totally eliminate. One of the most important things that we need to do is to make sure that young boys and girls are vaccinated. The vaccination is offered to year 8, and it remains free until the age of 25. And the benefit of the HPV vaccination is that not only does it prevent cervical cancers, but it can also prevent certain mouth and throat cancers. It can also prevent certain types of anal cancers, and it can prevent genital warts.
What is the role of cervical screening in preventing cancer?
Also very important is taking up the offer for cervical cancer screening. So from the time that you are 25, you'll be offered a cervical cancer screening test, sometimes called a smear test. And if you have HPV, this virus, we check to see if you have any abnormal cervical cells. And if you have those abnormal cervical cells, you'll be offered the opportunity for us to take a closer look and for us to potentially remove those abnormal cells. The combination of HPV vaccine and cervical cancer screening means that we actually have tools to actually eradicate or eliminate cervical cancer once and for all across the world.
Do we know what to expect when we go breast screening?
You will receive your breast screening invitation for the first time between the age of 50 and 53. And the breast screening test comprises x-rays of the breast. So you'll have two x-rays on either side, and this x-ray is called mammography. The mammography will be done by women, and you'll be asked to undress from above the waist, so it's a good idea to wear a skirt or trousers. The breast screening test, the mammography, can be painful or uncomfortable, but it only lasts 1 or 2 minutes.
Are some women more likely to get breast cancer than others?
So the risk of breast cancer increases with age. 8 out of 10 breast cancers occur in women over 50. So age is the biggest risk factor for developing breast cancer. There are other risk factors, for example, having a relative who's had breast cancer and certain genetic mutations such as having the BRCA gene. But most women who actually develop breast cancer don't actually have a relative who's had breast cancer, which is why it's so important to attend breast screening. Breast cancer is one of the most common cancers in the UK, and we are all at risk of developing breast cancer as we get older. So when you are invited for your screening test, you should carefully consider the pros and the cons and consider the benefits of attending screening, because it will allow us to detect that breast cancer early when it is too small to feel or to see, and we can actually treat it early and therefore improve your chances of a good treatment outcome and improve your chances of survival.
There is also a campaign running about bowel cancer screening. Is that for men only, or should women do that as well?
Bowel cancer screening is offered to both men and women from the age of 56 to 74. And you'll be sent a bowel cancer screening test kit called a fit kit that you complete at home. You put a small sample of your poo into a test tube and you send it back to the NHS, and we'll send you back your results within 2 weeks. And 98 out of 100 people actually get a normal result and don't require further tests. If you are required to come for further tests, this will usually entail what's called a colonoscopy, where we will take a look inside your bowel to see if you have any signs of cancers or growths called polyps, which we would want to remove, because even though they're not cancerous, they can develop into cancer at the left of the bowel.
Thanks very much, Joe, for helping us to understand about cancer screening. Do you have any last words before you go?
Yes, it is important for audience to realise that cancer screening saves lives. So when they receive their invitation letter, they must read the information that is provided very carefully, and if they have any questions, they should discuss those questions or concern to the health professional they trust, or to speak to some of our charitable partners like Joe's Trust and the African and Caribbean Healthcare Network. More information is also available online at nhs.uk. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to spread the message that screening saves lives.
This is Starr Radio.
People are getting so agitated about.
Yes, and it is part of the bright spot actually in financial services is deal making in terms of inward investment into mergers, looking particularly at public companies which are priced at a considerable discount to their global peers. If public market investors are not prepared to value those appropriately, we are seeing both international capital and private domestic capital saying, well, if public markets in the UK are not going to do it, we'll come along and value that appropriately accordingly. So yes, a bright spot driven by currency, driven by that persistent valuation discount.
All right, Simon, got to leave it there. Great to see you this morning. Thank you. Bit of breaking news to bring you, and that there have been fears that the animal rights group Animal Rising, which disrupted the Grand National last Saturday, had similar plans for the London Marathon this weekend. In the last few minutes, the group has released a statement denying that. A spokesperson said Animal Rising has no intention to disrupt the London Marathon this weekend. Our action this year is intended to shine the spotlight on other animals and our relationship to them. Some more business news for you now, and the outsourcing group Capita warned this morning that customer, supplier or colleague data may have been accessed by hackers in a recent cyber attack. Capita, which collects the TV licence fee on behalf of the BBC and whose other clients include Plymouth City Council, Bayern Munich Football Club and Transport for London, said there was some evidence of limited data exfiltration from the small proportion of its servers affected. It said the majority of its client services were not impacted by the incident and remained in operation. It has now restored virtually all client services that were impacted. Shares of Jet2 rose by 1% this morning after the tour operator said full-year profits would be better than expected. Jet2 said forward bookings for the summer had remained encouraging to date. It's looking to sell 7.2% more seats this summer than in the same period last year, with package holiday customers representing just over 3/4 of total departing passengers. Well, profits for the year are now expected to come in at between £387 and £392 million. Now, the UK government last month set mandates for car manufacturers requiring 22% of the new cars they sell next year to be zero emission. That will rise to 80% by 2030. Well, all of that compares with the 16% of the market currently accounted for by sales of battery electric vehicles in the last month. Those are the figures from the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders. But according to the online automotive marketplace Auto Trader, interest in electric cars may be waning. Well, joining me now is Erin Baker. She's Editorial Director at Auto Trader. Erin, good to see you this morning. Why do you say interest is waning?
Hi there. Yeah, well, according to our figures on Auto Trader, interest in new electric cars is down by 65% year on year. It's a slightly nuanced picture because actually sales and interest in used EVs remain pretty robust and are actually at their strongest that they've been ever at 6% market share. But certainly there's a huge drop-off in interest for new electric cars.
And you're measuring interest here by sort of searches on the site?
Exactly, ad views, yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think there are three key things. The first is cost of living crisis. You know, it's affecting us all. The sticker price of an electric car is still on average 37% more than it is for petrol or diesel. So people that are thinking about going electric, and a lot of consumers really do still want to make that switch, are looking at their monthly household budgets and thinking, 37% more expensive. There's also a lot of worries about charging, the charging network. Is it there? How much does it cost? In particular, this lack of VAT equality on domestic versus public charging. If you go to a public charger, a rapid charger in particular, you're paying that 20% VAT, and actually that can make it quite hefty.
Yeah, now overnight Elon Musk at Tesla hinted at further price cuts over coming months. Is that symptomatic of this waning decline? It's not just a UK factor, it mmust be global if Tesla are talking about this.
It is global, the car brands are global, they operate across different markets. If we look at other markets where they have successfully brought EVs on board and there's strong consumer demand and take up, you're looking at a lot of government incentives having to be there. You look at the UK, where are our government incentives? We had a plug-in grant, it's largely gone. We had a domestic charging grant, it's largely gone. We don't have any information around battery health for consumers, and people that want to look at a used EV are thinking, well, hang on, the car's fine, what about the battery? I don't know anything about that. So, where's the standardisation of messaging around that?
Are you saying then that the government's net zero targets are misguided unless they actually restore some of these incentives?
I think what we see, again, if you look at used, consumer demand and interest is there, but so we could still be on track. 2030 could still be a viable possibility, but it's going to take the government to really, I think, step in, look at things like incentives around VAT on used cars, look at things like, look at Norway, they do free charging, free spaces, free parking, all sorts of really interesting consumer incentives to go electric, and they don't currently exist in the UK.
You mentioned just now the differential between new EVs and new petrol and diesel vehicles was 37%, I think you said. said. What's it like for used cars?
Used cars, it's narrowing. It depends very much on the model. I mean, actually, if you think about it, for a lot of people out there, electric cars are a very new idea. But the likes of Renault Zoe, Nissan Leaf, they've been with us for over a decade now. So actually, there are some really good used car bargains out there. And there are a few models actually where price parity exists. I mean, we thought, along with other people, Auto Trader, we thought we were heading for price parity between electric and petrol and diesel around the middle of this decade. It's not happening. It's not going to happen without some help probably from the government. But, you know, there are a few good bargains to be had out there.
Now, you mentioned just now the fact that the government has been withdrawing incentives. Of course, in 2025, vehicle excise duty is going to be imposed on EVs. Is that something that you think the government perhaps ought to reconsider?
Definitely, that's something for the government to consider. Along with, you know, benefit in kind for company car users is going to shift upwards. That's been a really good incentive, which probably explains why 2 out of 3 electric cars are company cars. If we want retail, private purchasers to get behind electric, we need some fiscal incentives pretty soon.
All right, Erin, good to see you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Still to come on in King Live, we're going to have a global look at how global markets are doing this Thursday morning. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer, and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 1119.
Today, Dr. Joe Wende is here to discuss why we need to embrace NHS screening for a longer, happier and healthier life.
Hi, my name is Joe Wende. I'm a doctor by background, a consultant in public health, and I am the cancer screening public health lead at NHS England in London.
How many NHS screening programs are there?
So we have about 10 NHS screening programs, which are actually offered from pregnancy all the way to our later years. So pregnant women are offered various screening tests for things like infectious diseases and to detect genetic abnormalities in the baby. And then we have a variety of screening tests that we offer newborns, including things like testing their hearing, checking if their hips are okay, and checking for other genetic disorders. And then in later life, we start offering people with diabetes an annual eye screening test every year from the age of 12, and we offer then a screening test called an abdominal aortic aneurysm screening test in the year that they turn 65. And all adults are offered cancer screening as well. So we offer the cervical screening program to women between 25 and 64. We offer bowel cancer screening to men and women aged between 56 and 74. And we offer breast screening to women from the age of 50 to the time that they turn 71.
How can we prevent cervical cancer?
So cervical cancer is one of the cancers that we can totally eliminate. One of the most important things that we need to do is to make sure that young boys and girls are vaccinated. The vaccination is offered to year 8 and it remains free until the age of 25. And the benefit of the HPV vaccination is that not only does it prevent cervical cancers, but it can also prevent certain mouth and throat cancers. It can also prevent certain types of anal cancers, and it can prevent genital warts.
What is the role of cervical screening in preventing cancer?
Also very important is taking up the offer for cervical cancer screening. So from the time that you are 25, you'll be offered a cervical cancer screening test, sometimes called a smear test. And if you have HPV, this virus, we check to see if you have any abnormal cervical cells. And if you have those abnormal cervical cells, you'll be offered the opportunity for us to take a closer look and for us to potentially remove those abnormal cells. The combination of HPV vaccine and cervical cancer screening means that we actually have tools to actually eradicate or eliminate cervical cancer once and for all across the world.
Do we know what to expect when we go breast screening?
You will receive your breast screening invitation for the first time between the age of 50 and 53. And the breast screening test comprises x-rays of the breast. So you'll have two x-rays on either side, and this x-ray is called a mammography. The mammography will be done by women, and you'll be asked to undress from above the waist, so it's a good idea to wear a skirt or trousers. The breast screening test, the mammography, can be painful or uncomfortable, but it only lasts 1 or 2 minutes.
Are some women more likely to get breast cancer than others?
So the risk of breast cancer increases with age. 8 out of 10 breast cancers occur in women over 50. So age is the biggest risk factor for developing breast cancer. There are other risk factors, for example, having a relative who's had breast cancer and certain genetic mutations such as having the BRCA gene. But most women who actually develop breast cancer don't actually have a relative who's had.
Back joining me this morning is Anna Stupnitska. She's global macroeconomist at Fidelity International. Anna, welcome to you. Obviously, we're in the thick of earnings season right now, both here in Europe and in the United States. What are the themes catching your eye thus far?
Well, for this quarter, the real question is this the quarter when we're going to see that earnings recession that has been talked about and expected for a while, but obviously we know that earnings seasons have been more resilient and economic data has been more resilient. So the question is it going to happen now? And so far, I would say it is a mixed bag. We have seen generally earnings revision before the season kicked off, positive earnings revision in Europe, more positivity, more optimism in China and Asia, a negative earnings revision in the US. And so far, it seems that the bar for positive surprise, particularly in Europe, is relatively high. We have seen a mix across sectors. We're seeing a mix across regions. So a mixed bag so far, and we think that this is going to be a quarter where some of that theme about earnings recession is going to start coming through.
Anna, in the UK, I mean, it strikes me that a lot of businesses are surprising to the upside. I mean, for example, WH Smith, better than expected results today. Jet2, very positive earnings update. Have UK companies just been a little too pessimistic in some of the guidance they've been giving the market?
Yeah, I guess it's possible because last year in particular we saw collapse in consumer confidence, collapse in corporate confidence as we're approaching the winter, obviously given the energy shock and high energy prices. The fiscal support helped and we started this year on a much more optimistic note given those worst fears did not materialize last year. So it's a little bit of a payback from last year, but there's definitely, there is no question that we are going towards slowdown and recession. We're expected both here in the UK, in Europe and in the US, and that should start coming through in the data at some point, but there has been resilience so far.
Anna, looking at your latest notes, as a house, you're underweight developed market equities and overweight emerging market equities. What's the thinking behind that?
Yeah, well, one reason is that emerging markets overall had been ahead in this tightening cycle. So they hiked rates across the board quite early, and the tightening cycle is finished in many places, perhaps except for the Central and Eastern Europe. And so in this respect, inflation has been slowing there, and some central banks are expected to start cutting rates soon. So it's just a different point in the tightening cycle. That is one rationale for this. Of course, emerging markets are not completely immune from what happens in the developed world. So if we are going to see a recession, if it's relatively mild, and this is what we expect for now, then the economists, emerging markets economists can still do relatively well. But if the recession is deeper, they're not going to be immune. What is helping, of course, is the China rebound, and the China rebound story is one of the catalysts for better emerging market performance over the next next few months.
Okay, Anna, we have to leave it there. Great to see you this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Still to come here on Ian King Live. Calls for a national digital skills platform to help businesses handle the rise of artificial intelligence. Don't go away.
Not yet. Here's what the moon said is true. I can feel the love. Can you feel it too?
Quality ingredients for special moments.
Lizima, there you are. It's a new moon. Eid Mubarak.
Food Love Stories brought to you by Tesco.
why it's so important to attend breast screening. Breast cancer is one of the most common cancers in the UK, and we are all at risk of developing breast cancer as we get older. So when you are invited for your screening test, you should carefully
Sendwave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With Sendwave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, Sendwave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use Sendwave? Sendwave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about Sendwave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Welcome.
You are bigger than the biggest. Lord, you are stronger than the strongest. You are wiser than the wisest. What you say is what you do. That's why we call you Igwe. Igwe. Igwe, 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 Ekueme. You are not a man that is lie, not a son of man to repent. You are true. true to your word. That's why you are a cool man. I have been to the east, west, north, and south. I couldn't find nobody like you. Yeah, every other ground is sick as sand. That's why you are a cool man. That's why we call you Igwe, 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 Igwe. Lift up your voice and say Igwe, 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 Igwe. Say from the dawn of your heart, Igwe, 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 Igwe. He will never leave you nor forsake you. He's a friend in time of need. He will see you through the storm and sea. He will help you. He will deliver you from all your trouble. He's the everlasting God. He's the Prince of Peace and the King of Kings. He's the ocean divider. He's the first. He's the last. He's the beginning. He's the ending. He's a God that is closer to you than a brother. He has never failed. You are bigger than the biggest. Lord, you are stronger than the strongest. You are wiser than the wisest.
Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning. Wherever you are, say good morning to you, and I welcome you to Starr Radio UK. We apologize for the late start of the program. Certain things were going on behind the scene, but I hope you enjoyed what was going on, the music and the news that was coming. I say good morning to you, actually, wherever you are. Our producer Francis, good morning to you. Caroline, good morning to you. And allow me a special good morning to you as well. Whoever is joining us from, wish you a very blessed day in advance. Good morning from our studios right here in London. Precisely creating wherever you are. It could be afternoon if you're in China, in the evening if you're in China. Wherever you are, I say good morning and welcome on board. Russia, what is Tosino? What is happening in Russia? What is happening? Let's hear from you. We're going to start our program. We're going to move very fast. Today is Thursday, the 20th of April 2023. The year is moving very, very fast. The first quarter came, and we thought, well, we're entering the second quarter, probably to delay, but you know what? What I call it, the days just come to that thick and fast. Our brother all the way in our bed, and fellas, I say good morning to you. Dr. Morton, I say good morning. Special good morning to you. Simone, good morning to you. Regina, good morning to you. To Gina, I say good morning to you as well.
Lift up your voice and say
Yes, I made a mistake. I should have asked Ulayomi to tell me what this song is all about. I love it. I love the rhythm.
Say from the dawn of her,
By way of program outline, we're going to go straight to the weather, the transport, and then we start taking the news. At 11 o'clock, we'll move straight to Nigeria.
He will help you. He will deliver you from all your trouble. He's the everlasting God. He's the Prince of Peace and the King of Kings. He's the ocean divider. He's the first, he's the last. He's the beginning, he's the ending. He's a God that is closer to you than a brother. He has never failed and he will never fail you. He will never disappoint you. He's a mighty healer. He's the great physician. He's the Lord of lords. He's the Lord of hosts. Mighty God is his name. Yahweh is the Alpha. He's the one that he's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you may ask or think. He's the God that answers by fire. He's the God.
All right. If he answered by fire, then let's come to you with fire news. Let's come to someone to fire news. Is it fire news? Yes, it means we're going to come to you. We're not going to ban you, but we're going to give you something that will ginger you up. That's what we're going to do. But let's first go to the weather. What is it saying? Today in London and in the UK, we'll see a dry and sunny morning, similar conditions for most in the afternoon, but the southeast will see cloud and some spells of rain pushing from east, breezy in the southeast. Tonight, cloud, patchy rain and some heavy showers will continue to progress eastwards, but the far southeast will escape drier. Again, the north will remain dry with mostly very clear skies. That's what we're going to be looking at today as much as part of our weather conditions. When it comes to temperatures, let's see what the temperatures do have for us. What do the temperatures have for us? Where we are in London, the temperature, the highest we're going to get today across the UK is going to be 15 degrees Celsius, and the lowest yesterday, it was cold. It was cold, yesterday was cold. So we're going to be having about 15 degrees Celsius as the highest today. Where we are now, we're going to be having 15, yes. As of now, it's about a little bit getting to 10 in some places. So the highest we're going to have is going to be about 15. But if I were you, looking at these weather conditions, I will prepare myself. Yesterday it was a bit cold. Sweden, we're going to be having 9. London, 12. Ashford, we're going to be having 11. Let me see, where is it? If we go to Sydney and all those areas, Bristol, 8. So we're going to get to points where the temperatures are even less than what we're feeling here in London at the moment. That brings us to the end of our weather updates. Let's go straight to our transport update to see what is happening on our routes. We start first with underground in the tube. Right on the northern line, we have some minor delays on the northern line. Apart from that, good service on Bakerloo Central, Circle District, Hammersmith, Jubilee, Metropolitan, Victoria, Piccadilly, London Overground, Elizabeth Line, the tram and DLR. Someone will call my name Frank. They call it Flank, and I told her, hey, I'm not Flank, I'm Frank. Place. So it is not DR, it is DLR, Dockland Light Railways. So that is it. So we do have good services on that line as we go. Again, when it comes to the buses, we do not have a lot of things to report on the buses. And the mornings, we do not have a lot of things to report on the buses. Now, let's go to the traffic. On the traffic, we have serious delays on A3 and South Circular. We do have a bit of serious delays over there. Apart from that, A10, A1, A12, A13 for those of you going through the A13. Sunday is going to be marathon. So you're going to be careful. A lot of people have started trooping into the city in anticipation or in preparation towards the marathon that is going to take place on the Blackwater Tunnel. We also do not have exceptional delays over there. When we come to Central London, for Central London rail routes, are okay. And then when it comes to the North Circular, for those of you who might be leaving London trying to get to Luton, Stansted Airport, and some of those areas, you do not have a problem. And when it comes to the river bus, Archie's favorite means of transport, we do have good services on RB1, RB2, RB6, RB4, the Thames River services, and Woolwich ferry. Let me also go to the cable line, which is running very smoothly. The cable line running very smoothly. If you want to compete with bets, you can, but it's fun. It's fun. Right, you're able to get a good view of what London looks like, especially from that part of London, the Greenwich Peninsula, cross over to the other side of Greenwich, the sugar manufacturing area, and then you look at the harbour over. I mean, it's really very beautiful, and now each and every one who is in London, for me, I think it's even better than the London Eye. Anyway, it's better than London Eye because it takes you across the River Thames with a very good panoramic view of whatever is happening. You also look at the new developments, the estuary. That is, a very good view of the estuary as well. Anyway, when it comes to our rails, we have severe delays on the following line: Great Western Railway and Cross Country. Southwestern Railway has minor delays. Apart from that, from Avanti West Coast, C2C, Chiltern Railways, East Midlands Railway, all the way to West Midland Trains, Scotland, the ScotRail, the Southeastern, they are running good services, so nothing to worry about. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our transport update as well. Before we go for our commercial break, let's see what is going to be happening. We're going to, in Africa, we're going to be Ivory Coast municipal and regional elections are set to take place on 2nd September. The France, first meeting of historian on colonization in Algeria. We'll have a look at that. What is all this about? UN urges focus on reproductive rights as India overtake China in population. Don't let Putin in. Nobel Prize winner tells South Africa. We'll look at that. Nobel Prize. What did when people were fighting apartheid? Where was he? What was he fighting? Was he fighting for the apartheid people? We'll look at that story. Central Africa accuses rebels of killing 9 Chinese miners. Really? Okay, we'll look at that. Great Lakes region bolster peace efforts. UN envoys urges. Sudanese army paramilitaries announces new 24-hour ceasefire. I can tell you that ceasefire did not go far. As we speak, guns are actually being shot. Sudanese army paramilitary ceasefire did not. Nigeria disinformation reflects a Nigeria disinformation reflects a demonetization of is it politics? We'll have a look at that, of institutions. So we look at that. If we want to demonetize institutions, we'll see what is going to happen. The wave of misinformation currently targeting Electoral Commission and Supreme Court judges in Nigeria. Okay, we'll be coming to Nigeria anyway, but let's go for this quick break, and when we come back, we will resume our program. We'll resume our program where we go straight to Nigeria and we'll bring you the headlines.
SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Can see the joy bubbling over since you met the Lord. I can see that love has taken over, and that you can't deny. Lordy, Lordy, yeah. Oh, what great devotion. You can tell it, you can tell every nation that you don't regret it at all. I can tell the world about my Savior, for He's my best friend. As the days goes by, we get much closer, for He's the greatest. Oh, what sweet sound. regret it at all. Why not let King Jesus in your life now? For he's never failed. He can guarantee you satisfaction. And that you can't deny. Lord, 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 oh, what great devotion. You can tell it, you can tell every nation that you don't regret it at all. Oh, what a sweet salvation, oh, what sweet salvation, my Lord. Oh, what great devotion. And you can tell it, you can tell every nation that you don't regret it at all. And you can tell it round the world, yeah, you can tell every nation, yeah, that you don't regret it at all. And you can tell it round the world, yeah, you can tell every nation that you
don't regret it at all.
Don't regret it, don't regret it.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
This is Starr Radio. You don't regret it, don't regret it. No, don't regret it at all. You don't regret it, that you don't regret it at all. This is Starr Radio. Don't regret it, no.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All right, welcome back from those breaks. Today, the Thursday. This evening, do not forget at exactly 7 o'clock, we're going to bring you the Property Hour show, where you learn about how to make money from property. And when it comes to the property industry, we're talking about from cleaning, roofing, painting. You don't need to be, what do you call it? Someone who buy and sell property, someone who build to be in the industry. Cleaning, the industrial cleaning, taking care of properties. You see some people cleaning windows. You go to an estate, their windows are dirty, beautiful houses. Well, you can set up a business where you have just get a few what do you call it? If you don't have the machine or the ability to get the machine that will help you, then you need to get a bit of ladders, some jet washers, a little bit. You can set up a business wherever you are. It's also part of it. Someone with just a property business, okay, can I supply cleaning staff to this logistics? Can I supply what they call cleaning staff to all those people in this estate? You take a paper, do a bit of survey, find out what they want, what they need, when they need it. Some people go to collect bins, rubbish bins. It's all part of the property industry. So the industry is so huge. So on Thursday at 7 o'clock, Bossman, KB Bossman, will be the CEO of Judah Homes, will also be here to tell you more about areas. And anytime he comes here, he comes with industrial experts. You want to buy property, then don't look anywhere else. Time check says at 8 minutes past 11. Unfortunately, live is not going to be with us, but we're going to go straight with some of the headlines that are making news in Nigeria. We're going to go straight and deal with them right now. Okay, let's start. Biafra government in Ezra, FG sponsored distraction, IPOP We're going to look at that. Detained IPOP leader Nnamdi Kanu allegedly blazed from. Yeah, we've looked at that already. Latest, we're saying that FG disobedience of court orders. Again, the Nigerians are fuming about that. The Nigerians are fuming about that. We're going to go more into that story pretty shortly. We're going to go into that story pretty shortly. Let's look at this very important one, which oh, someone said, Frank, why do you type? Yes, I was trying to get a particular news item that I was looking at that escaped me. Let's go to that. Okay, let's go to that. I think we got it. Yeah, we got something here. Yeah. Kaduna, 214 persons killed in 3 months. That's a report, and that's a story that I wanted to touch on. May 29th inauguration, Tinubu's whereabouts raises controversy. Tinubu is gone to training. For Nigerians, Tinubu has asked me to tell you he's preparing to come and govern, and therefore he's actually putting he wants to hit the ground running. So he's taking a bit of break to basically put his government together. I kind of like basically, I mean, that's strategy anyway, putting your government together. But you know what? You are the president-elect. People want to see you over the Nigerian. And the other items I want us to look at will come. Kaduna State Governor on Wednesday warned that the bandits could take advantage of the transition period to launch bloody attacks in the country. He therefore advised that security operations against bandits should be increased in the remaining days of the current administration and beyond. The presidency has also said President Muhammadu Buhari personally took steps to address the terrorism situation in Benue State, despite the action of Governor Samuel Otum, who in many cases either roundly ignored them or placed an outright obstruction. The senior special assistant to the president of media and publicity, Malam Gaba Shehu, said this in a statement on Wednesday. Well, they're trying to defend their records. The House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating alleged loss of over 2.4 billion in revenue from illegal sale of 48 million barrels of crude oil in 2015 has lamented that the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, are not cooperating with the committee. This followed Malami's inability to honor invitations. It's this in the country. We're gonna find out. The federal government has also asked the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Asa Jerry, to proceed on retirement in a letter from the Civil Defense Correctional Fire and Immigration Service Board dated the 17th of April and addressed to the boss. The federal government directed him to hand over to the most senior officer in the service. The president-elect Ahmed Tinubu has urged the police to investigate the controversy that through the Adamawa State supplementary governorship election, which saw the candidate of the People Democratic Party, Ahmed Fintiri, return as a winner. Tinubu, a former governor of Lagos State, has also urged a aggrieved candidate who lost out in election to adopt legitimate means of addressing their grievances. One thing that I like about this is, well, because APC lost that state, he is interested in getting the police to investigate it. Why is he not asking basically the person who lost to go to court? Why is he not urging the police to basically also investigate the atrocities that we witnessed, the carnage that was vent on Nigerians, what we saw, the barbaric actions that the police actually subjected or unleashed on some of these our brothers and sisters in Nigeria, who the crime was to go and answer their constitutional call. come and vote on the day elections are supposed to take place, and as a citizen do that as part of a democratic right. Kofi Ale, wherever you are, long time, good morning. Someone mentioned something to me yesterday. I'll give you a call later. Kofi Ale, wherever you are, I say good morning to you. The striking action, let's proceed. The striking aviation unions on Wednesday vowed to have a total shutdown of the airports after 7 days as staged a procession to the international wings of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. Security operatives also took over the venue of the protest where the unions converged on Monday. You know what occurred to mind yesterday? Assuming Tinubu remains outside, and on the day he plans, or probably let's assume that it's leaked that he's coming, let's assume on the 20th of May for integration, and the people decide to go on strike, what will happen? How will he come? Assuming Nigerian airports workers all decide from the tarmac operators to they decide, okay, you know what, as part of our legitimate way to protest, we also are taking a 7-day strike. No one's coming to work. How will he land? And how are we going to inaugurate him? Anyway, don't follow this. Anyway, if you're a strike, if you're an airport worker, our president-elect must be sworn. Anyway, the federal government has declared Friday, that April 21st, that's tomorrow, and Monday 24th of April as public holidays to mark this year's Fetcher celebration. A statement signed by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Interior noted that the Minister Ugbene made the declaration on behalf of the government, and all our Muslim brothers, we're going to wish you a happy Eid. From tomorrow, we're going to wish you a happy Eid. It's been a successful journey for so far. We pray that Allah Himself, who has actually seen you through this, will shower the blessings that He promised, that when you actually go through this, He will give to you. May those blessings come your way. When it's money, when it's coming, make sure we also get our share. Anyway, because we just prayed for you, didn't we? 2 construction workers on Wednesday were killed when a perimeter fence around a construction site in the federal capital, Abuja, collapsed. The incident occurred on Ademola Adetokunbo Crescent in the Wusi 2 area of the nation's capital. Anyway, I just hope that we always talk about these construction defects that we normally see when construction works is taking over or is taking place in our nation, but most often we do not see people acting to basically, get people to account for negligence of duty, to some extent reckless work that sometimes are undertaken. My question is, these people who have just lost their lives, they're just looking for a job, probably they're construction workers. I don't know. The news did not get into the circumstances, but that's a work. The wall collapsed. Was it a wall that they were working on, or something that was built already and it happened just to be on the site and probably it collapsed on them? I think whatever it is, I do hope the construction company has a public liability insurance, for some of these people are breadwinners. They might have wives, they might have girlfriends, they might have mothers, and they will need to continuously look after some of these people. And if they are dead, at the end of the day, these people, basically their families might be found wanting. So if the insurance policy and that company has insurance policy, this is the time to step up to help the family out. A 45-year-old, still in Nigeria, a 45-year-old man, Benga Ogunfedeke, has been arrested for allegedly chaining and locking his 2 children in solitary confinement, which led to their death. I don't know what to say. Anyway, it's a news review. Let me not bring my emotions to it. Anyway, so basically the commander of the state corps has confirmed that the suspect has been arrested, and a statement was taken from, but he remains in custody. Imo State Police Commander has said Its operative wounded several members of the indigenous people of Biafra. We see war which is going to come now. IPOP and its militia arm Eastern Security Network during a bloody shootout. The shootout which took place at a camp at Agua, tropical chain rainforest in Oguta local area, left several persons wounded. I just pray that this is resolved and resolved quickly. Like we always say, we do not want Nigeria to descend into war. It will not be right. It will not be right at all. Okay, now Buhari government speaks on debt repayments to China. I think that's very important. Let's look at that news. The government of President Muhammadu Buhari has refuted claims that it defaulted in the repayment of debt to China, costing 41.31 billion naira. Director General of the Debt Management Office, Patience Oniha, disclosed this on Wednesday, stating that there is no loan obligation to China, which had accumulated to 10.31 billion in 2 years. She stated that as of 2021, Chinese loans to Nigeria stood at 3.59 billion, constituting only 9% of Nigerian total foreign debt stock of 37.9. I think Nigeria is doing far better than Ghana when it comes to debt management and servicing of debt. That one, I give it to them. When they had that they are all concessional loans and there is no need to worry about them, whether concession or concessional. I mean, there's something you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay something back. It doesn't matter whether the concession, although let's say the general concessional loans tend to be a little bit with lower interest. You normally get interest no more than 5%. Typically they are around 3%. So concessional loans, but again they come with some chinks anyway. The public is assured that Nigeria is fully committed to honoring its debt obligations and has not defaulted on any debt service obligation. The media report should therefore be disregarded. Disregarded. I think that's a good response, and it's good that proactively we now have the records being set straight. We have the records being set straight, which is good. This is what we expect from the officials. If something is going on, let's know what is happening. Now, it felt that NSCDC deploys 1,850 officers in Kaduna. The commandant, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Kaduna Command, CC Idris Yahaya Ada, has ordered the immediate deployment of 1,850 officers and men across the state to ensure a hitch-free Eid celebration. This was contained in a statement by DSC Habib, the public relations officer for the organization. According to the statement, Ada further directed that the officer deployed across the state must remain vigilant and tactically prepared to protect lives and property against criminals before, during, after the celebration. He said critical national assets and infrastructure were of great value to the nation, and directed all personnel deployed for this celebration to ensure they are protected. Ada further warned all officers to take precautions, saying that the time to be extra vigilant and more security conscious is now, considering the present security challenges in the state. He advised residents in the state to celebrate with care, love, devoid of trouble or any form of disobedience. He wished all residents in the state a happy celebration. I think that's a good welcoming news. I like that. Again, we see so Nigerians can do it when given the chance. Nigerians can do it when given the chance. Yemen, over 80 people died in Ramadan stampede. We'll come to that. Osun government frowns at arbitrary parking use of car phones while driving. Again, we're going to look at what is happening in the UK here. Suma's one of government's greatest achievements. We'll look at that. Approves FEC approves 149.24 billion acre stunt project amid controversy. We're going to do it when it comes to the education sector. Luther bans students from driving cars to campus. Wow, we're going to Peter Obi hails Archbishop in Wachuku appointment by Pope Francis. Okay, we're going to look at that. Let's take this quick break, and when we come, we'll wrap up those headlines coming from Nigeria.
From SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Right, welcome back to Star Radio. Thank you for actually listening to those commercial breaks. We need to pay some bills, isn't it? And we also need to tell you a little bit about other programs that we're doing. So let's go straight. Straight and try and see if we can finish the news. Osun State government has warned motorists, especially commercial minibus drivers, popularly known as Korope, against arbitrary parking of vehicles by the roadside. The government also frowned at the use of earphones by drivers, adding that it causes distraction which may eventually lead to road accident. Speaking through the executive secretary, Osun State Office of the Transportation Engineering engineer. Anyway, Wednesday, the government warned that arbitrarily parking of the vehicles by the roadside is a serious punishable offense. Vehicles are supposed to be parked completely off the road so as not to impede other road users and to avoid obstruction to free flow of traffic within the town. Commercial minibuses, popularly known as corporate, are more capable of these offenses. The government will no longer tolerate such henceforth. Drivers fond of using earphones while driving are hereby warned. Also, using earphones while driving has caused a number of accidents on the road. Our officers will henceforth. I don't know. I don't know what the law is in Nigeria, but let me speak to what we do know over here. I mean, someone can, as far as I know, we used to drive, talk with our mobile phone, sometimes test. Sometimes we still do it. I mean, although illegal as it is. And then came reports about the potential dangers that are associated with it. And let me be frank, I'm a driver. I have incidents where I nearly had accidents using my mobile phone. I mean, that's the truth. And therefore, to a large extent, these days when I'm driving, I do not want, especially if I have to use to type. Sometimes when people are calling me, I do not answer. Someone tell you are not answering my call. It's probably because I'm driving. Sometimes when I'm in traffic, I'll sneak and be able to. Well, I park and do that. But one thing that we were told is in this country was hands-free. Hands-free means that you're not physically in touch with the phone. Basically, you either have a Bluetooth on. You have an earphone on. I don't know whether the band says in this country. The band does not say you should not use earphones. I think it has to do non-touching at all, which means that even sat nav, you cannot be driving and be setting it. When the police found you touching the phone, and it's a punishable offense. Now, this governor is going very far to say that even the use of headphones is now illegal. I don't know if I agree with that completely, because sometimes you need some information, you need some direction, you need to attend to urgent situations. If you can do that, safely without necessarily touching the phone, well, it might cause a bit of distraction, but we listen to music anyway. We listen to music in the car. I mean, I don't know the science behind it. I don't know. I mean, if it's saying the use of headphones or earphones causes accidents, I would like to see a bit of data on that, because I see myself as a driver, and yes, I understand about the handheld mobile phone aspect of it. 100%, I agree with the law on that. But when we go that very far to a point where even if I have an AirPod, I cannot be talking on the phone, or I cannot be, then I want to be able to. I don't know what you think. I mean, I don't know what the law is in Nigeria, but I find it. Let's be practical over here. I'm driving somewhere. I know I'm not supposed to to be touching my mobile phone making calls or something. Now, either you have to make calls using voice activation or something, which are possible now with modern cards. I do that a lot. I mention your name. That I have phone numbers that I've thought if I want to call Archie, if I can and I need to call Archie, I call Archie and the phone automatically call Archie and the phone automatically does it. Now, with that, I have my earpod on. You're now telling me that I should not even have that on. I have a bit of difficulty with that, to be honest with you listeners. I mean, I don't know what your views are. You can call or you can message us, and I'll be glad to read your comments on that. I really want to be educated on that, to be honest with you. I really want to be educated on that. I mean, I stand to be educated, and I want to be educated on that. I don't see how I'm going to manage it. If there's a way, someone should tell me what to do, but I don't know. Okay, SUMA's one of government's let's say greatest achievement. The Vice Chancellor of the State of Medical and Applied Science, SUMAS, Professor James Chukwuma, has commended Governor Afinye for his foresight and wise counsel in establishing the medical university in the state. I would say any school, anything that we do that enhances develop our human capital, I think we have to commend it. And I think I join hands also said on behalf of all our listeners on Starr Radio, our viewers on Starr Radio across all the other channels, across the Yoruba channel, I say well, we commend whoever is doing something that is good. It's going to train more people, it's going to save life. These doctors will come out to save life. So if we go there, you will see many patients being attended to. That gladdens my heart. So it's good that at least something is happening. Now let's take this one. I can still see by your penny signature to this. Amid controversy, the federal government has approved an e-custom modernization project at this is a huge figure to mention, at 142.24 billion naira. The approval is coming amid reports of an existing court order restraining the e-custom project from proceeding. Meanwhile, Glenn Agba, the Minister of State, Budget and National Planning, said he is unaware of any court order on the project. He disclosed this to State House correspondents shortly after Wednesday Federal Executive Council meeting presided over the Vice President Yemi Osibanjo at the villa in Abuja. He explained that the concessionary includes Securities Consultant and Supplies Limited as a project sponsor, African Finance Corporation as the lead financial, and Huawei Technology as the lead technical service provider. Agba said the concessionaire had furnished the government with $9 million US security from the satisfactory performance of the project, plus a debt facility timesheet in the sum of 300 million US dollars to finance the project phase of the first phase of the project. He stressed that the concessionaire will take 45% of all the accrued to the comprehensive input hence scheme, while 55% goes to the federal government coffers. The minister added that the concessionaire will also keep 25% of what accrues to Nigeria Export Supervision Scheme, while 75% will go to the federal government. But on April 18th, two senior advocates of Nigeria reported as the federal court attorney Boka to obey the court order regarding the dispute on this. Okay, here we are 55%. It looks good, but for me, I don't know how many years we have this BOT that build, operate and transfer. I don't know if we're going to have a transfer component to it, because it's not stated in the news. I hope they do, and I hope it's not those 25 years, 30 years, 40 years kind of arrangements. One thing that troubles me, though, we have failed to consistently use our indigenous people. I was analyzing, it was in a meeting, and we're having a look at Atiku, yes, the billionaire. We're looking at his portfolio. If you look at the refinery he's building, he's taken that refinery is about 25%. Okay, we do have a lot of financiers, private capital coming in. But yes, he's a lead project person. But about 25% is what he owns in that company. Why have we not? And I mean, this is my passion. I pray for a day where a port like this is to be built in Nigeria. We say, okay, let's tokenize the shareholding in that port. How much do we need to build this port? Do we have engineers capable enough to design this port? I would say yes. If we do that, can we raise the money? I've always believed that we can raise the money in Nigeria. Look, if we say, okay, we need to have 5 million people to be shareholders, 10 million people to be shareholders, and we know that probably we need what I call it, probably we need 100 million. We divide it by the number of million of people that we have, and we say, okay, if you want to take part in shareholding of this company, send this code or send this number, your interest, declare your interest. I do believe we can use some of those measures to raise money for some of these projects that we do in Africa, because there's 45% of those resources are going to be leaving Nigeria. Okay, yes, the port will be built. So someone say, yes, the port is being built, but the revenue that port is going to generate is not going to stay in Nigeria. 45% is not going to stay. The other problem I do have with that project is I think the people within that area, the environment, I think they should also be having 5% in that business. So can we reduce, I mean, the investors' share to 40% and give 5% to corporate social responsibility, so that we do not have something that will have Niger Delta issues where the people, oil is real and people do not benefit. Can we start doing that in our part? And it's across the whole of Africa. We see it in Ghana, we see it in Nigeria, we see it in Angola, we see it in all this. That, I mean, it was recently that I saluted my grandfather Museveni, who stood up and said, look, you found your own diamond and gold. You went and gave it out to a foreign investor, and you're telling us that we want to keep royalties of 10% and this, and say no, he will not sign it. They should tell the investor, if you not take 10% or 20%, he should go away with his money. The what do you call it? The assets will remain and the minerals will remain in situ. And I totally agree with that. We must start valuing what we have, because again, we calculate our GDP per capita, I mean, against the GDP, and what we're going to see is that, well, 45% of what is going to be generated is going to leave the country. Could we have given it to Nigerians? I do believe yes, we could have bought shares in that. And there are a lot of Nigerians in the diaspora community. Tosino, for instance, Tosino, if they ask you to contribute, if you know it's going to be independently managed and it's going to be, I mean, transparent enough, and they ask you to contribute $100 towards buying a share in a port that belongs to Nigerians, I know we'll do. I will do it. I will do it. So why are we not utilizing some of those avenues as a people? It beats my imagination. Let's say the final story from Nigeria. I'm a bit passionate about this Nigerian story because it reflects our thinking. We want the easier way out, and because some of these people, they just take bribes, grant some of these things. They're going, they are resigning, they are signing, they might not be in the next government, they take their money and leave. You know, I feel sad each and every time I read some of this news. Let's take the last. The ban on students from driving on campus is the management of Lakete Akintola University in Oyo State has banned students from driving or bringing cars to the campus. This was contained in a memo issued by registrar for the institution. The memo showed that the institution also banned the use of tinted vehicles by staff members and students, and required beginner drivers to place learner permits on their vehicles. Vehicles owned by students are hereby banned from entering the university campus. Vehicles with no registration numbers are no longer allowed on campus. I do have a little bit of problem with this news item, and I'm going to tell you why. I agree with the 100% with the issue about learner driver, because it does inform other road users that the person at the helm of affairs in that car is not fully qualified, and therefore becomes another potential risk to other road users. Yes, he's learning, but his control and maneuvering skills might not be as you expect. So when you want to overtake that person, you're gonna be very careful. When you get to roundabout or when you come to a junction, a T junction, you're gonna be extra careful when you see such cars, because at the end of the day, they are now learning how to control that car. I understand 100% that. I also agree 100% with that. Cars that are not registered should not be coming to campus. I 100% accept. And in that, on that score sheet, I even want to ask, why don't we register cars as such? Such that at the port, before a car leaves the port, the car is registered and should be given a number plate. I understand we sometimes give them this temporary driving number plates, but I think we could, the vehicle licensing authority could set up, before you clear the car, the person clearing the car, we register the car, because it helps fight crime, because we cannot trace the car to whoever, because at the end of the day, you park a car, you take it to, what do you call it, a car showroom, someone can test drive, they go and commit a crime, what do you do? But if you have it registered, we know, yes, this is a car linked to this person. It could be a showroom in this country, for instance. We have cars that are already registered before we buy them. I still have letters. I mean, a car that got stolen, I didn't declare it lost or stolen or whatever. I couldn't, because the insurance company were bullying me out. I still have Nissan had just recorded a letter. Sent a letter recalling the car for some airbag fix, because they can trace it. So why don't we do that? But I have a problem where they are saying no students will bring a car to campus. Hello? What happened to disabled people? They are mature students. I mean, since when the university became secondary schools? Since when? So if I have a son, a daughter in school, we are now being told that they can't bring cars. And these are universities which do not have accommodation for students, right? Not all students are accommodated on campus. I do have a problem with it. Listeners, time check 45 minutes by the hour 11. We're going to go for a quick music break. And when we return, we'll look at that news, especially news that are making headlines in Ghana, the UK, and something is happening in Russia. South Africa, are you going to be able to arrest Vladimir Putin? We're going to have a look at that. Let's take this quick music, and then when we come back, we will continue with our okay, let me go to, let's go for it.
Sometimes late at night, I lie awake and watch her sleep.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
About her anymore. spread my true feelings for me. Never worry if tomorrow never comes. Won't you know how much I love her? And I try in every way to show her that day she is my only one. My time on earth is through. She must face this world without end. It's the love that gave her past gonna be enough to last if tomorrow never comes. Having someone that you love, just what you're thinking of, if tomorrow never comes.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Welcome back to Star Radio UK. My name is Frank Davis and sitting in for Archie Hammond. Archie will be with you. Archie's not here, he'll be with you next week. So tomorrow I'll be here again with another guest. Tomorrow we have a guest in. Because of the celebration of the Muslims, Olayomi will not be joining us today because of, and that's why he couldn't join us today. We wish all our brothers, all our Muslim brothers, we wish them a very, very, blessed and happy Eid. They should have everything the Lord has promised them for this season. They should have it all in abundance. Right. Let's go straight to some other news in Africa. Then we come to UK, go to US, Caribbean, and end up in Ghana. Uganda president is due to meet MPs from the ruling National Resistance Movement on Thursday, that's today, to discuss the controversial anti-homosexual bill passed by Parliament last month. The meeting will take place at State House in Tembe, according to a statement by the Parliamentary Caucus chairperson. All MPs are required to take a COVID-19 test before the meeting state-run news agency approval said that the bill, which local media say Museveni is likely to sign into law, will see anyone engaging in acts of homosexuality facing 20 years in jail and a death penalty for convicts of aggravated sexual homosexuality. The proposed legislation has attracted global condemnation, with the US threatening sanctions on Uganda if the bill is enacted. This is a very, very controversial. I know Ghanaian Parliament, as we speak, are also discussing something to pass the proper human rights law bill or something like that. There's one thing that I do have a problem with. And I listened to one professor, was it a professor or something like that? Yes, a medical professor who was actually giving a bit of expert opinion on what is happening with these homosexual bills and community. In fact, it was in Ghanaian Parliament. Prior to that, I've listened to one US is a public speaker, made some very powerful arguments against it. And one question he asked: do men and women struggle or beg people to recognize them as men? If I'm a man, I am a man. If I'm a woman, I am a woman. I do not go beg people to tell me, to recognize me or accord me that respect that I am a man. And his argument was simple, that look, if you got to get a point where you're gonna now, you have to take law for people to start recognizing you as a man or to start recognizing a woman, and it's not natural. So whatever human rights that you think are natural, they must be natural. You shouldn't beg. So if you are a gay, let people see you as a gay. I mean, I shouldn't meet you and you have to tell me or your art. No. If you're a man, you're a man. If you're a woman, I mean, some powerful argument. But you see, my worry though is this US trying to push this down. We know when we went to Ghana, the whole Jubilee at the seat of government, flowers were dropping, colors of gay, and people were angry about that. The Speaker of Parliament has sent a strong warning in Ghana, for instance, to the president. That look, if the bill comes to you and you don't sign it, we know what to do, but it is not your call. People are saying, well, the president is in support of it. I sent a video to Achi. Was it Achi the other time? There was a festival to Goa, and you know those colors, basically the rainbow colors now, which we used to see love as children. When we see rainbow, people now don't like rainbow colors again because it has been used for gay. Well, if you're gay, be gay, but don't force the society to accept that. Because if you go to Nigeria, if you go to Ghana, if you go to Uganda, if you go to Kenya, there are people who are married to one or two people. In fact, our traditions allow that. Okay, if you take even religion, Islamic religion, it says if you can look after these people, you can marry more than that, more than one. But in this country, you can't do that. They tell you the Lord has no right. So why don't they accept that as well as our human right? Because the woman has agreed as a right that, look, I don't want to be the only wife out there. I want to invite someone in who will help me take care of my husband. We've all agreed. Is that not their right to agree? Anyway, let's proceed. So Uganda, the president is due to meet with the party in power, the MPs. U.S. troubled as Tunisia opposition leader jailed. The U.S. government has condemned the arrest of Tunisia opposition leader and the closure of the main opposition leader's party office. The State Department said in a statement that the arrest of opposition leaders and the banning of opposition meetings represent a troubling escalation by the Tunisian government against perceived opponents. The government obligation to respect freedom of expression and other human rights is larger than any individual political party and is essential to a vibrant democracy and to the U.S.-Tunisia relationship, it said. On Thursday, Tunisian judge ordered the imprisonment of the opposition leader and the party and a prominent critic of the president said Said. Mr. Ghanouchi had been arrested and detained on Monday by Tunisia authorities. There has been a wave of arrests this year of leading figures opposed to President Said, who assumed full executive powers almost 2 years ago. Going forward, Libya denies involvement in Sudan fight in the Libyan National Army, a group of armed forces loyal to General Khalifa. This is Benghazi-based military man, isn't it? Has denied providing support to a rival party in Sudan amid deadly fighting. General Haftar, heads of Libyan parallel government in control in the east of the country, but which is not recognized by international community. The General Command categorically denies report of providing support to one party against the other. He said the army was ready to play a mediating role between the rival parties in Sudan. The Sudan Army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces have been fighting since Saturday, and I tell you what, it is not, for me, the worst time for this to happen is what we are witnessing now, because we do know Sudan is predominantly a Muslim country, and as people are finished, I mean, they will not have the time to celebrate this time. For me, I do not think is right. Whatever it is, I do think that we should find a way of solving that problem, and it should be done quickly. Now, Sudan's RSF set up humanitarian call center. Sudan paramilitary group Rapid Support Force on Wednesday said it set up a call center to receive distress calls from the citizens and foreigners in the capital. The room operates under the supervision of a force comprising various legal, medical, and rescue teams. A direct communication mechanism is allocated to serve 24/7 to provide humanitarian aid, contribute to evacuation, and resolve insecurity, the group said. It said the room was located at Rapid Support Force control areas in Khartoum. The force announced a few hours after a fresh humanitarian ceasefire between Sudanese military and the RS forces was announced. Sporadic clashes were reported this morning. Despite the truce, medics have been unable to access hospitals and intensified clashes in Khartoum and other parts of the country. I say this is a sad news, and for me, I wish we have something to do quickly. It's deteriorating by day. It's deteriorating. Sudan Army says 177 Egyptian soldiers evacuated. Let's look at that. Sudanese Army says 177 Egyptian soldiers who had been captured by the paramilitary were evacuated on Wednesday. The troops were flown out of the country on 4 Egyptian military aircrafts. They were captured by the Rapid Support Force group on Saturday during joint exercise with the Sudanese military. The Egyptian military did not announce the evacuation, but had earlier said it was coordinating with authorities in Sudan to rescue the troops. Several countries, including Japan, Tanzania, announced they would evacuate their citizens, but the fighting in Sudan has delayed those plans. Foreign diplomats have been attacked, and some aid workers have reportedly been victims of sexual violence. Huge fire again in Sudan, Khartoum, after attacks on weapon storage. So, I mean, the problem is escalating. The fight is ongoing. We pray. Let's take the India herbal medicines sellers in Sudan seek rescue. Well, everybody needs rescue. Guns are blazing. Are you going to be there? I would say no. If I were the one, I would also be running for my life. And this is what is the most annoying part of it, and it's disturbing. And listeners, bear with me. In all this, the people we see suffering more when it comes to war, when it comes to some of these issues, I mean, basically innocent people. And the picture you just about seeing on your screens now, if you are with me, are some of the things that we really should not be welcoming in our part of the world. Look, these are women, children and women, innocent people, really innocent people, but they are now bearing the brunt of everything that is going on over there. And for me, it's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Whatever we're going to do, because scenes like this are troubling. They are disheartening. They are really disheartening. We do not expect anyone. I mean, these are our children. Look, their future and many more, just because of two individuals fighting a war somewhere. I think it's sad. And this is why we say, whatever we do in Nigeria, for instance, the Igbo issue, now that we hear shooting have started, we should not get to a point where we do have war. Because, I mean, Igbo, we close Ambazonia, the Cameroon enclave, and we see what is happening over there. So we plead, that whatever it is, because it's these people who are going to suffer. The children, innocent mothers, and the elderly. And even here you can see the elderly, so some of the elderly can be left behind. Am I going to be able to carry someone who cannot walk? Disabled people, the most vulnerable in our community. They are basically real victims of war. And whatever we're going to do to ensure that war do not happen in situations, we do. For me, it's something. These are the images that I think we should not be encouraging. They're very disheartening. Very disheartening. Very disheartening. And out of no trouble, they didn't cause it. They didn't ask for it, but they are now victims. Anyway, let's proceed. That brings us to the end of our stories coming from the African enclave, African region. Let's look at what is happening in the UK. Here, the UK front reaches Sunak. What is happening? Dominic Bullen report handed to PM. Now, this is a man who is a deputy prime minister. A report investigating whether he is a bully or whether he bullied staff at various positions that he's occupied is due to be published. And he said that if the reports found those allegations made against him to be true, he will resign. He's again the Justice Secretary. I think it's an honorable position that he's taking. We are now being told that the report has been handed over to the Prime Minister. So, report and allegations of bullying against the Deputy Prime Minister, Dominic Raab, has been handed to the Prime Minister, who will now decide his fate. Number 10 said Rishi Sunak was considering the findings before deciding whether he broke ministerial rules. He could choose to sack Raab, one of his closest allies, or decide that he has not breached the rules. Mr. Raab, who is also Justice Secretary, denies bullying staff and say he always behaved professionally. He is facing 8 formal complaints about his behavior as a minister. Senior lawyer Adam Tole, KC, now let me explain this. That is very important. This is very important. Let me read this and I'll explain something which is very, and we need to take note of. Casey was appointed by the Prime Minister to investigate the allegations in November. We learn every day, so anything that can with sport, let's just get to the education process. After he has seen the report, it will be for the Prime Minister to decide whether RAP has broken the ministerial rule for which he must go. A number of senior government figures have told News that they believe he will not be able to stay on that. Man, he has committed to leaving anyway if the report finds him getting. Now, we used to say QC, Queens, QC. So normally the senior lawyers in this country, we call them QCs. To be able to attain that, you might have gone through the rank. So the QC are some of those high profile. You hear others, obviously Queen's Constable and other things. But since the death of the Queen, that has changed. So now they will be called KC instead of QC. So all of them have to change their business card. They have to change whatever is on their letterheads, and they have to change everything. They have to change everything. So basically, when you see KC, you have, what is KC? Yes, because we now have a king and we do not have a queen any longer. So basically, that comes, we have KC instead of Queen C, QC. We learn on a daily basis. Uni student complaints is another record high. That's also in University of Ireland. The number of student complaints about university courses in England and Wales reached a record high for a fourth year running in 2022. The Office of Independent Adjudicator received 2,850 complaints, 3% more than they received in 2001, and £1,050. About 1 million pounds was awarded in compensation. That's the complaints they received in 2021. They had compensation paid by the university to those affected, totaling an amount of $1 million plus. That's 1,050,000. That's 1,050,000. There are around 2.5 million students in England and Wales and universities. UK said most had positive experience. Just under a quarter of 2,000 complaints raised relate to the pandemic. So a lot of complaints last year has to do with pandemic. People say they don't get the benefit of education as during the pandemic because the courses were being run online, and people thought that was not a contract they signed when they were taking the admissions. And that is why we question why our brothers in Nigeria, our brothers in Ghana, our brothers in Africa, Asia will again during this war troop to Ukraine to go and write their exams. And we know after that exam, an exam that was supposed to last for 4 hours lasted from 9 to 4 o'clock. And we know during those exams, missiles were flying and exam has to be, you say, stop, missiles coming, then you go and start again. Stop, missiles coming, they're going to start again. And almost 80% of them failed their exams. And therefore, all the school fees they have paid, whether it's 2 years they've spent, 3 years they've spent over there, it's gone waste because they'll tell you, well, you failed your exams. Well, the conditions under which those exams were taken were not right and conducive. How can you concentrate when missiles were flying? Why did you commit to taking that? And I do believe, in my view, this is my personal view, that they shouldn't accept that. If you have a brother and sister who has been a victim of that, I don't think you should be accepting that at all. I do think that this is where lawyers will have to come in, because I do not think it's right. They've been robbed. They've been robbed of their money if you've gone to pay this amount of money. So the investor over the number of student complaints about academic appeals, including grades, made up 38% of the total from 29%. So basically the grades they're giving us, no. I've had a similar situation before where we have actually we have to complain about certain marks, and independent review comes in. That's how independent they can be. All right, we have one lady over here, Penny 22 who left Manchester Metropolitan after her first year of a fashion designer course, which she began in 2000. She told news item that I didn't make a single garment during my first year. I didn't know how to sew or how to use any of the machines in unit, she said. In an online workshop, she said students were asked to use wine bottles instead of mannequins and dress them using paper and make masking tape rather than fabric. Basically, it's all about expectations, and it's all about how you basically define your course and how you basically, it's about selling, because the universities are more like private in this country. Students get loans. So if I'm going to get a loan to come and pay, and then I choose a course based on what I want to be and what I want to do. It's not in Ghana, where probably, or in Nigeria, in most of Africa, yes, we're gonna go to university just because we have to go to university. People specifically would know exactly what they want to do, to a point where first year probably that line of course you can switch. So only in specific areas that you cannot switch, because if you don't have a medical background, if you don't have a science background, for instance, you cannot switch from, let's say, what you are studying to a medical background. That is not. But other than that, a lot of courses you can conveniently switched. You can conveniently switch as and when a place. I have friends that have switched courses during their studies. So in this country, for instance, you are allowed to do that. It's free. You are allowed to do that. You are allowed to do that. Anyway, let's go to the next story. Millions of pounds stuck in 80,000 trust fund. Let's look at that. I think that's a very important story. Tens of millions of pounds belong to about 80,000 young people without capacity to make financial decisions will be locked in the trust fund, a report suggests. The families must go through court to assess the savings when accounts mature, a process which can take months and cost hundreds of pounds. Only 15 accounts were assessed this way in 2021. The government says it is unable to share more recent figures. It said it is trying to speed up the cases. Now, this is what is happening. I just can't believe I have had to do all this just to assess the birthday money, Christmas money, and other savings we have been putting away for her, she says. Like the millions of others born between 2002 and 2011, where money were given to them, that's 250 and 500 through the Labour government child trust scheme. So during that time, when you are birthed, similar to what Libya used to do, you are given some money which is supposed to be saved for you in a trust fund. Okay, and then the idea is that in future family can then add their own contribution to help savings grow up to whatever I want to grow. And in this case, some people have their 7,500. Now it's got to a point where they want to assess it. Now the law now is saying that you are saving it for the child, but this is the issue. If that child gets to a point, we expect them to get to 18, probably get to ages where basically they can make informed decision. How about if the person is disabled and they cannot make such informed decision? What then happens? Who makes that decision? Do we have to say that they have to get a power of attorney? Again, when you give power of attorney to parents and they decide, okay, my boyfriend has come, we need loan, and I can sell the money and give to them. So it's a very, very difficult balance. I understand it's a very, very difficult balance. But I also do think that the government needs to basically streamline the process. Probably someone within a council, or someone to approve instead of going through that long process of court, especially if it is proven that the person, medically proven that the person cannot make a decision for themselves. I think we're going to look at it both ways. The government has a point, the parents also have a point. How do we come to a midpoint where we can give basically something that is better, a decision that will help a lot of these children? Right. Business group giant. I know yesterday we made mention of the CEO who was sacked who was sacked for allegations he claimed some were historical but has to be blamed for rape and certain things that were obviously not intended for any harm but ended up being used against him. He was on as a business group giant. CBI says my apology. Business group giant, the CBI says it has handed over additional information about what it described as serious criminal offenses to the police. The City of London police is already investigating claims a woman was raped at a CBI summer party in 2019. The CBI has been engulfed in a crisis of a range of allegations, including sexual harassment. We have passed that information immediately to the police, with whom we are liaising closely and who has asked us to comment further on potential criminal matters. It said we are anticipating findings from Force Williams on the matters it has been looking into imminently. The board will be communicating its response to this and other steps we are taking to bring about the wider change that is needed. Well, that's a bit of welcoming news. That's a bit of welcoming news as well. So basically, the opposition to effect changes should the need be. Anyway, we're going to take a break, but before then, Nobel fans in anguish over K-pop star death. That is happening. That's happened. A young boy died. He started his career at the age of 16. We'll go to that. Shoemaker plan legal action after AI interview. We'll have a look at that. More SpaceX to try again with this big rocket launch. We're going to be looking at that as well when we return. And when we go to elsewhere, Ukraine war, what is happening? What is Russia saying? The Russian ships accused of North Sea sabotage. Is it to give a dog a bad name? Like Archie will always say, we'll say Ukraine Volca producers toast a rise in global sales. So amidst war, they're making profit. They're making so much profit. Russian-linked hackers a threat to UK, says minister. We'll come to look at that as well. The dual security vision. There's an okay. Now, when we get to other parts of the world, let's see what is happening in the US. We come to that. New York woman sentenced for cheesecake murder plot. We'll have a look at our teen brother charged with Alabama party killing. 2 cheerleaders shot after one gets in a wrong car. We will look at that. We'll look at a lot of gun related problems happening within the last few days in the US. Time check is 21 minutes past the hour of 12. Let's take a quick music break, and when we return, we will proceed with our news item.
Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I've been told about living like a star. Hotel rich champagne and caviar.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Call 119, call 119. Call 119 if you do have a problem. Again, vaccination is still ongoing on. That's a campaign that is going. Please do. Screening is also in progress, especially for those who are 45 years old, 50 years. Please, women, breast cancer, try. Early diagnosis and early detection is very important when it comes to some of these health issues. Early interventions have always proven to be the right way. Don't leave it too late. Don't leave it too late, and do not think, oh, I eat a lot of eba, I eat a lot of pepper soup, I eat a lot of green leaves, and therefore I am excluded from this. You never can tell. And especially those of us who, modern, a lot of things has changed. What our great grandfathers used to eat, it's not what we now consume. A lot of us now frozen food, ice cream, and all those things. That's what we eat a lot. I mean, there was no Maggie cube when my great grandfather was alive. So if today I'm eating some contaminated or probably certain things that have been bounded together, making it sweet tasting, very tasty though, at the end of the day they might have implicated side effects. So some of all these things have added to the kind of health problems that we do have, and early detection is something that we preach and continue to preach about. So wherever you are, please try your best, visit your GP, have a conversation, and that might be your savior. That potentially might be your savior. All right, let's proceed with our news item. Let's go to other part of the world. It's exactly 31 minutes by the hour of 12. All right, let's go to other part of Europe, and then the soft-spoken challenger to Turkey powerful Erdogan. We know elections is coming. He's so calm, he sometimes drive even his own colleagues crazy. One close confidant says the 74-year-old pronounced Caliph has the biggest chance to so far of unseating Turkey's most powerful man since he took over 20 years ago. A soft-spoken former civil servant, he is the very antithesis of Turkey's grandstanding powerful president. He has lost several elections since he took charge of the Republican People's Party in 2010, when his predecessor was forced out because of an extramarital affair. Perhaps not the obvious candidate then for 6 opposition parties uniting behind a single person to challenge Erdogan. And yet Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu is highly experienced politician. He was elected in 2002, the same year Erdogan ruling AK party came to power. He has survived a string of violent attacks, earning the reputation of being one of the Turkey's most targeted politicians. In his 13 years as leader, he has broadened his party appeal and embraced all the different colors in the country, as he puts it. Okay, let's see how it goes. I am too much not a fan of aged who are pensioners who are actually trying to take office. I mean, I'm not a fan. Okay, I'm not a fan of pensioners who take office. That is all round. It doesn't matter which country, whether it's Joe Biden or I'm not too much of a fan of pensioners taking office. We wish him all the best. If you look at what is happening in Brazil, we do have over 90s trying to share their wisdom. I want them to be advisors. I will keep them close as an advisor, given an experience. I'll give the experience, the vast experience they have, but to have them a take of affairs, I do not think I will be. I am a fan of that. Macron tries to escape pension rule with street song. Let's see what Macron Nagrata. Let's see. Even a traditional sing song with a group of young Parisians is fraught with risks for president attempting to persuade France to accept an unpopular increase in the pension age. Emmanuel Macron had given a TV address on Tuesday regretting no censor could be found on the reform when he went for a walk with his wife, call it Bridget, but they call it Bridget. Anyway, he joined some men singing a song he remembered from his grandmother, but it was shared by a Facebook group reportedly set up by the far right. The young singers were part of a Parisian choir singing traditional songs on a street in the 6th district in Paris. One of them approached President Macron, asking him to join in a rendition of an old song from the Pyrenees called Le Refuge, which he sang on a trip to the French mountain range last year. The men who were part of the local St. Legion choir were apparently using a mobile phone app to read the words of the song created by Canto Project. Anyway, I mean, in all this, was it not staged? I mean, some of this it could be staged, you know. Anyway, we wish you all the best. I think that went well. But he's craftily trying to use it to basically broaden his appeal. New York woman sentenced for cheesecake murder plot. I visited an elderly man a few days ago, and he told me a story which basically I'm not going to share. Probably when actually comes, I'll share with him. If I actually want us to discuss, we'll look at it. How we should be mindful of what we eat, where we eat. To be honest with you. Because sometimes it's so dangerous. Slow poison can be dangerous. This man was being fed with chicken laced with poison, small. Before they realized he was gone. A Russian woman has been sentenced to 21 years in prison for attempting to kill her look-alike in a bizarre identity theft plot in New York. The beautician Victoria, as we call it, gave a beautician Olga a lace of poisoned cheesecake on the 28th of August 2016 before stealing her passport and work permit. As she learned her fate, the 47 directed an expletive at the judge at the court in the borough of Queens. A prosecutor called her a ruthless and calculating con artist. Those are serious words. Nazarova is going to prison for a long time for trying to murder her way to personal profit and gain, Queens District Attorney Melinda said on Wednesday. The jury heard that on the day of the attempted murder, Nazarova went to Miss Kai's Chase house in Queens with a box of cheesecake, eating two pieces herself and offering the third poisoned slice to then 35-year-old victim. The eyelash stylist started to vomit and went to lie down. She suffered hallucination and came close to having a heart attack. This is serious, you know. She was taken to hospital, and when she eventually returned home, her Ukrainian passport and US work permit were missing, as well as jewelry and about $4,000 in cash. At the time, her friend, who looked quite similar with dark hair and the same skin complexion, they were both Russian speakers. Well, that's an attempted murder, and I think she's going down. That is wicked. Someone who considers you as a friend. And if you look at the two faces, listeners, they all look alike. For those of you, let me see if I'm able to get the pictures. Beautiful ladies, very beautiful ladies, very beautiful ladies. But hey, attempted murder. Thank God she survived. That's the most important thing. She survived it. But that's lessons to us that all of us must be watchful, must be safe. Anything can happen to us, and sometimes people appear or think differently than we think they are. I'm not getting the picture, so I'll leave it and we'll proceed. So we'll proceed to other news items. Time check from our studio is exactly 40 minutes per hour of 12. We should hurry up with this. Does King Charles need coronation? That's question being asked. Yes, of course. She's going to be coronated, so at the end of the day, she needs it. Right. Shoemaker plans legal action. Let's go to this. Shoemaker family are planning legal action against a magazine which published an artificial intelligence generated interview with the former Formula One. We know recently artificial intelligence has come under attack, especially ChatGPT. And Elon Musk, for instance, has said that if we do not control artificial intelligence, we all have doom to face in the near future. But others are saying, no. The human brains are very good. We can talk about. We have said, look, you give power to some of these and they behave in a ways that sometimes you cannot control. They come out things that you cannot control. We've all seen some of these robot movies and others. Sometimes in laboratory conditions they go, ways that you cannot control. Schumacher, a 7-time F1 champion, suffered severe head injuries in a skiing accident in December 2013. Has not been seen in public since. The Die ran a picture of a similar Schumacher 52 on the front cover of its latest edition with the headline Michael Schumacher, the first interview. And if you look at the picture, it looks like Schumacher though. Okay, let's see how they got it. A strap line underneath reads, "It sounded deceptively real," and it emerges it is an article that the supposed code had been produced by AI. The article was produced using an artificial intelligence program called Character AI, which artificially generates Schumacher's quotes about his life, about his health and family. Sorry, I can, with the help of my team, actually stand okay, let's let me take a bit of water sip. This is interesting. I'm interested in this, what AI can do. So I can, with the help of my team, actually stand by myself and even slowly walk a few steps. My wife and my children were a blessing to me, and without them I would not have managed it. Naturally, they are also very sad how it has all happened. They support me and are standing firmly at my side. The family have confirmed to news agencies that they are planning to pursue the matter legally. The magazine publisher told news people that they will not be commenting on this issue. Schumacher, who won 2 of his world titles with Benetton in 1994 and 1990, while he claimed 5 in a row for Ferrari. But I'm interested in this. Look, we know some TVs now. Okay, let me share this with you. There's an app. Because of what we're doing, we had someone, a business approached us. And part of what they discuss, or what they're saying, that they are introducing an app, and I'm going to name the app for you. I think I have the app here. The app is called it's called Venue. Basically, the concept is so powerful. It's all about money, and it's going to make good money. You see the way you pay tickets to go and watch any event, any match, anything. This app is being launched and it's Venue. You can check it out if you have a phone. You can download it. It's still being worked on. It's not perfected yet. But I had a discussion with the developers representatives, and I made myself clear what I think about the app. In fact, I was invited in because of what we're doing in Africa. And one thing they are looking at, the app is able to work on smart TVs, it's able to work on mobile phones and tablets. But guess what? It only can work on a TV that has camera. Listen to that carefully. It only can work on a TV that has a camera. We know some TVs collect information from you. They got speakers, they got microphones that listen to whatever you do, right? And therefore they're able to adapt whatever, you're shopping, even you're talking. There are some TV that record it, right? So this app, when installed on your TV, what it does is you can watch everything live. So there's a match that is happening, so they are now negotiating with events, bring football matches and other things. It's not a bad concept, it's good concept, but that's how powerful artificial intelligence has become. You see, the tricky part of it is that We call it pay per viewer. That's the concept they are introducing. So it means that if I want to watch an event alone, just like I'll buy a ticket as an individual, I have to pay on the app as an individual. When I sit in front of the TV and my girlfriend, my daughter, my family member, or anyone joins me, the app automatically picks it up that we are more than one. And therefore, it either I have to pay for the second person to view what I'm watching, or it will shut down. So if it's a mobile phone, it's only pay per viewer. Okay, the concept is so powerful that if there are 10 people, you're gonna pay for 10. If there are 11 people, you're gonna pay for 10, because the cameras use artificial intelligence to automatically count the number of people watching the screen at the same time. And the app is able to tell whether you cheat. In just like the way you're going to an event, you're going to a concert, a ticket is one person is entitled to one ticket. Okay, so at the end of the day, this is how technology has come. And here we have technology, which I do believe Shoemaker's Home will have a lot of smart devices, and they're able to pick out some of these. That's incredible. No one is safe. So look, your bedroom, you think is a secret place, might not be a secret place anymore. We all gonna be careful. But that's what technology is able to do. Hugo Chavez next sentenced to 15 years in jail. That's in Latin America. Claudia Diaz, who Chavez named as Venezuela national treasure, is the latest in the series of Venezuela top officials to be jailed in the U.S. Diaz and her husband had been found guilty of laundering millions of dollars they had received in bribes from Venezuela media mogul. They had both denied the charges and rejected a plea deal. Claudia and her husband were arrested in 2018 in Spain, where they lived in a lavish lifestyle. But a court in Florida found the couple had accepted and laundered millions of dollars in bribes from Venezuela media mogul Raguren during this time at the helm of Venezuela Treasury from 2011 to 2013. In exchange for the bribes, this allowed the media mogul to buy US dollars at cheaper rates from the Treasury, which he then resold to the black market. I think this is a test case. And I love this because at the end of the day, this is where market manipulation happens. As we speak, and now let me go straight to Ghana. We know getting access to foreign currency, being Ghana, being Nigeria, most African country, sometimes you go to the banks, they say they don't have it, but you go to the website, the roadside, and Alhaji has it. And these are new notes. And then you ask Alhaji. If Alhaji want to tell you people who gave him the notes, you will be shocked. Mostly it's coming from the bankers themselves. This is a test case. And I just hope that one day, those of us in Africa will also have a look at some of the test cases and able to say that, oh, you know what? We can also make good use of the lessons over here and prosecute, because we need to help stamp corruptions out. Because if you can cause artificial shortage, you get it from the central bank, you go then resell it to the forest bureau, you make huge exchange, you make huge money out of that, and then you share the profit. And that's what they've been doing. So I'm happy that this has happened, and that is, the court has found it guilty, so there's nothing there for me to say whether they were involved or not. The court has found them guilty, so I mean, we don't call it a guilty. They are basically corrupt officials, so to say. Let's head straight to Ghana, and this is an interesting one, and I'm very, very shocked. And today I posted some comments on some platforms. And I do believe that if we're able to implement this, it might help. First, in the news, we have 2.5 million worth of crude missing at toll. So it's not Nigeria alone that crude gets missing, you know. It's not Nigeria alone. We have crude worth $2.4 million missing at all. That is number one. What I want to concentrate on at this very minute is news item where the health minister is quoted as saying, quote, "I no longer use NHIS card. I pay when I go to hospital," health minister laments. Okay. The Minister of Health, Kweku Ajimamenu, has revealed that he pays cash whenever he visits the hospital, despite being on the National Health Insurance Scheme. He mentioned specifically that visits to the Rich Hospital and the University of Ghana Medical Center have seen him pay cash after receiving the necessary service. "I pay when I go to Rich Hospital. I pay when I go to UGCM. I don't even present my insurance card," he told a meeting of Ghana Health Service senior members on Tuesday. He expressed his dissatisfaction with certain services providers under Ghana National Insurance, whom he accused of extortion. There are complaints that they're coming about how those who are subscribed to health insurance are treated in almost all our facilities. Why shouldn't we use the harsh word extorting from the poor patient? He lamented how poor subscribers are being overcharged and denied necessary service that they have already paid for. From the end user point of view, it looks like the health insurance is not working. "I am a patient and I know what it is," he said that. Right. I'm interested in this story because of one thing. I quite remember before, when MPP was in opposition, this insurance started in 1998 under the Rawlings, where they were doing, they did it in Gardangben and Kranza. Then Kufuor came in and introduced a mutual insurance which only operates within regions, which means that if you are in Ashanti, your card can only operate there. When you come to Accra and you are sick, you cannot do it. So it didn't have that national character. When Professor Memos came, they went back to the national insurance scheme that it used to be, which means that if I have the card, irrespective of where I am within the country, I can access health facilities. Okay, I need not to be in areas where basically are registered before I can be given a service. I recall very well the government then introduced what we call capitation. Okay, a cap on what providers can charge. After investigation revealed that we had service providers abusing the system and defrauding the state. Kweku Ajiman, then in opposition, accused the then government, he was part of the team that were leading the charge, that no, it's because Ashanti region did not vote, or traditional don't vote for that party. That is why the party in power had decided to basically use them as guinea pigs, punish them. Here we are complaining. He is now complaining about the same thing. But the question I would like to ask, he has been the helm of affairs for 6 years, right? Going to the 7th year. What has he done? This is a health minister who recently was appointed, or who recently was awarded the highest national award, given the highest national honors in the history of Ghana. President Akufo-Addo awarded him that. Here he is lamenting. Here he is lamenting. The same person who supervised a fraudulent transaction involving COVID vaccine. Vaccines that were being sold for $11, he was buying them $23. The same person who told us that he couldn't name the contractors or the individual, couldn't state the individuals, who owns the company Frontline Services that was actually awarded a contract by him, the ministry, to basically undertake screening at our airports, where they were charging $150 each if you're a foreigner and $50 for Ghanaians. Right? The same health minister. But here he is complaining now. But you know what? I mean, if you look at Obasanjo last week, wrote a letter to the judicial system, where pleading on behalf of an official who has been incarcerated over here. He actually used his good deeds, okay, to be able to say that, look, this man, whilst he was in office, the officer who, I mean, basically that official were trying to illegally buy human parts to transplant, or I mean kidney, for their daughter. He used the good things that the person had done. So over here, what are the good things are we going to say about Kweku Menu? The person who tried the demolition of the only hospital for La people, and for how many years now? 7 years. Nothing is happening to those that hospital. The person who is in charge of Agenda 111, and we can't see a hospital being built, or we've not seen anyone commission, although they gave us 18 months. But listeners, that is what we have in Ghana, and I'm challenging. I say, look, in my view, if you are coming to campaign to us, then what I expect and what we should be asking of you is commit to the fact that all your workers, all the appointees will use public service. Felix, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Oh, it's afternoon. Oh, you see?
Yeah.
How are you today, my brother?
I am managing.
Okay, let's shoot.
Let me start with the issue with the health insurance.
Yes.
Personally, I think the health insurance system they have in Ghana, I have not experienced it, but based on what I've read about it and what I've heard, I think it's largely structured on the American model, where you go and buy your health insurance. But in this case, it's the government which is the main provider of that health insurance.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. That is a problem for a country like Ghana. Culturally, in our part of the world, people don't go to hospital until they are very, very sick.
Okay.
That may be related to, finances. It may be related to just the way the people live until they don't feel, they feel they are very unwell. They don't see the need to go to hospital.
Yeah.
Now, with that sort of setup, then you don't expect people to pick up an additional cost where they think they don't need it.
Okay.
I mean, if you are coughing and you think it's just an ordinary cough, why would you go to some place and go and spend money? It's only when the cough doesn't go away and it continues and it persists and you can't even eat anymore. You're beginning to have, significant symptoms.
Yeah.
That is significantly compromising your day-to-day living. You won't pick up a national insurance facility. And the whole point of insurance is that you are trying to get resources from people who are likely to make use of the facility less in order to take care of those who are likely to be dependent on the facility more. That's the whole point of insurance. So that's the reason why 18-year-olds who pass their driving test have to pay more, because they are likely to crash their vehicles more and more, rather than a 67-year-old who's never had a crash in his lifetime, or a 55-year-old young grandma who's never had a crash in their lifetime. Their insurance cost for motor insurance is likely to be less.
Yeah.
And it's the same way for the health insurance, particularly in this country. The young don't go to hospital, even though they have rights to make use of the NHS.
Yeah.
The grown-ups, those who are retired, aged, and maybe some young people who have significant health issues, who rely on the system. There are many young people who don't even know who their GPs are, particularly when they go to university. They have to call their parents back home, and the parents will have to tell them, look, this is your GP, because they themselves don't go to the GP. They don't have a reason to be there.
True.
And it's not because they are reckless with their health. It's simply because young people tend not to fall sick. So in our part of the world, I think the whole thing is been inappropriately designed, because if you have a system where people are short on cash all the time, they are not likely to be picking this up. And if they are not picking this up, you have a problem.
True.
Because another principle of insurance is that you get many people into the system and you get less people making claims.
Mm.
You get a point I'm making?
Yeah.
Right. The second thing is that governments in and out have decided to make use of the insurance money for whatever the reason may be.
True.
I have never understood this. I don't know why they can't design a system where if you make your registration, you pay for your registration, the money goes to the authority itself, direct. I don't know why the money has to go to the Ministry of Finance, the Bank of Ghana, the Accountant General Department before all these people have to act in order for the money to be released. I really don't get it. That is the second thing. And the final thing is that I personally, if I were to be, well, not that I have interest in what happens in Ghana that much anyway, but if I were to, I would suggest that they move away from the American style of doing health insurance, because that doesn't even work well for Americans.
Yeah.
Now, the alternative way of raising this is that, look, you tell all the people in the country that for this amount, for this quality of health service we're going to provide, this is the minimum contribution everybody will have to pay.
Okay.
Child, grown up, everybody in the country. Now, if you decide not to opt in, then you pay for everything. You pay for your school fees. You pay for everything. That will compel people, even those who seek private health care abroad, to make that minimum contribution. And that the health system has to be preventative by nature. Because if you allow people to go and eat anything they want to eat, have a lifestyle of choice that they prefer, your healthcare system will not be able to cope. Which is what, unfortunately, sometimes the NHS in the UK faces. Because people, you don't have a situation where every year you have to go to your GP and your GP will sit down with you and say, look, let me have a look at, what do you eat on a regular basis?
Yeah.
What do you drink on a regular basis? What is the family, your medical factor, the medical issue of your family? Do you come from a family where there's a high propensity for you to develop diabetes? Do you come from a family where you have issues with respiratory conditions? Do you have asthma? Have you ever had that? Which industry do you work? Certain industries exposes you to certain medical issues. We don't have that sort of system. It's a kind of Cuban system where they pick you up and constantly keep an eye on you, so that before a medical condition arises, they're already working on it. That reduces, it can be laboring, but it reduces the cost of medical care delivery.
Yeah.
Because if you come from a family where mom and dad both have diabetes, grandparents on both sides suffer from that, then the chances are that you are, relatively speaking, you have a high risk to that sort of condition. So if you decide you're going to spend the beginning of your day with Mars bar, sorry to be advertising of them, but
go ahead, yeah.
You start your day with confectionery, and during the day you just keep nibbling on more and more sugary stuff, and you end up in the night with another 2-liter, bottle of some, high sugar drink. I don't want to mention their name, but they quite a big they do a big advertisement all over the world. When we were kids, you see their adverts, and their adverts are very catchy. They say always something. If you decide to drink that sort of stuff, then please don't be surprised when your insulin levels start struggling to process the extra amount of sugar you have in your system. So, to summarize it, first of all, they may have to change the system, because that sort of system where you are asking people to every year go and pay for the renewal of national insurance, that may be okay for certain societies where people have significant amounts of disposable income and savings, and then they can take that option. But in a country where people are short on cash at all times, then they won't go to hospital. They won't even pay this sort of thing until they know or they think they may be at risk or suffer from some medical condition of some sort.
Yeah. And
so that's the first point.
And then,
go ahead.
What happens with? They have a two-way system in Ghana. For everything that you purchase in Ghana, they have a tax 2.5% on it, which actually is national insurance levy. So that goes to the government. And then what they are saying again is that before you be able to assess or benefit, you also have to pay something. So those two funds come together to be able. I don't know whether it's a card that we pay for, I mean, because when you pay, they give you a card. I don't know whether it's a card that you pay for, which is that fee that they are charging, and probably they've actually outsourced that to a private company that might be providing those cards. That's what the cost is. But I mean, we pay at source 2.5%. Everyone, whether you use it or not, we do pay. But 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I know they have all sorts of levies.
Yeah.
If I heard you right, the line is not very clear. But if I heard you right, I know they have all sorts of levies. But you need these sorts of levies anyway, because in our part of the world, the infrastructure is not even there. So if you go to a village and you're asking them to pay for national health insurance, then they don't even have a hospital. Even some of the place I grew up in Accra, for instance, until I started schooling outside of Accra, the hospital there has been pulled down.
Yeah.
So even if these people pay for national health insurance, they may not even have hospital to go to. They may not have any health to go to.
That's true.
And I believe that where you grew up, I think it's in Oho area, Jessica area, you spent some time there, am I correct?
Yeah, I spent some time.
Yeah. There may be communities over there where the people may be willing to pay, but the infrastructure is not there. So yes, I accept that you may have to put a little bit of money on petrol, you may have to put a little bit of money on other petrochemical products, maybe even on excise duties and things like that. First of all, yes, to supplement whatever is coming in from it, because it doesn't matter whatever you do, it may not be enough to pay for the cost of healthcare delivery, as we're seeing here in the UK. And whether we use the NHS or not, even when you are here for a year and you are working, whether you use the NHS or not, you pay. In fact, there are some people who pay for national insurance contributions without paying for taxes because of the amount of income they earn.
Yeah.
So, even in a system like this where there's resources coming in from all angles, it still doesn't seem to be enough to take care of healthcare. So in our part of the world, you certainly will have to look at other areas in order to build that infrastructure, because we are not even up to the highest level of medical care delivery, which is primary healthcare at the doorstep of the community, which is what in this country they call GP practice.
Yeah.
A place where you can go and then they will see to you before, if you need any kind of referral, you'll be sent to a secondary healthcare institution or maybe a tertiary healthcare institution. So that is what they have to look at. But I don't know whether they will be able to look at this or not. I mean, our people don't like paying taxes, so that's another issue. So you may not be able to use what the UK does here. In other words, people who work in the formal sector are being asked to pay a certain amount of money in terms of national insurance contributions. But some way, somehow, they will have to find a way to do it. Whether you do it at a time when a child is born, it will be part of the conditions for you to get a birth certificate. And when you get a birth certificate, you'll be required to pay this sort of money on a regular basis as part of healthcare delivery. But then, in return, you have to deliver the healthcare for people to know that, look, I'm better off, even though it may be costing me a few cities here and there. I'm better off with it because whatever issue I have at any point in time, whether it has to do with me, my relatives, my friends, they will be taken care of, and I don't have people to be calling me, I need money for prescription, I need money for that and that and that, because the system will take care of them insofar as I pay something at the end of the month for healthcare.
Yeah.
Whether they will listen to us or not, well, I don't know. But yeah, that's the way I see it. Regarding Michael Schumacher, look, we wish him all the best, and I think the decision that the family has taken is good.
Yeah.
After a period of time, people will lose account of what he actually looks like in public.
Yeah.
And they may be able to take him out and let him go and have some fresh air, because I don't want to believe that since that time till now he's been stuck indoors all day long.
Yeah.
It probably would have changed significantly by now, and that's what happens when people are out of public sight for a little while. It's a very difficult condition. These conditions are not easy.
Yeah.
Not many people actually come back from this condition. But I mean, Schumacher, he's not short on cash. He lives, I believe he still lives in Switzerland.
Yeah.
I mean, there aren't that many countries that have the best of facilities for their citizenry than Switzerland. I know he's German, but he's always lived in Switzerland for a very long time. So, yeah, I mean, if you are looking at some of the best healthcare to be made available to anyone in that sort of condition, you'd like to think that the family would have, tried their very best to provide him with the best of healthcare.
Yeah.
It's not an easy situation, but look, all the best to Michael Schumacher and all the best to his family.
Fellas, thank you so
have a good day.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you so much. listeners, this is how Felix has just ended the show for us, and I thank you very much for doing the listening. I thank you very much for all those who are joined on Facebook, for those who are joined on Twitter, those of you on YouTube. I say I salute you. I thank you so much. I thank you so much. This is how time check from our studio is 10 minutes past the hour of 1, and this is how we bring the program to a close. And when this song ends and you don't hear from me, our DJs will take over. But on that account, I say thank you very much for doing the listening. This evening, do not forget, at exactly 7 o'clock, we will be coming, Boston will be coming your way with the Property Hour show. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
All around the world.
Africa unite, 'cause we're moving right out of Babylon, and we're going to home of Father's land. Yes, man, this foundation is in the whole mountain. Jalab to get the Zion, but know the dwellings of Jacob. Yeah, these things have been spoken, you see, God. Without Philistine race, Ethiopian said that the man was born there. And then the IS themselves had established the earth. Jah Rastafari.
Africa unite, 'cause we're moving right out of Babylon, then we're going to harm our father's land. Marcus Garvey said it,